The concept and the idea came from me and my brother. We used to be fine dining chefs throughout the valley. We opened up El Divino and other restaurants, Orchard Lounge, a bunch of hot spots that were out here in McAllen. But our idea was that we wanted anybody to be able to afford our food. A simple food that was created by us that had full flavor.
I'm a plating artist, so I'm known everywhere, for my paintings, and everybody's always liking my dishes. My brother is known for a lot of creating different techniques and dishes, and we always, every time we're together, we create something that is going to be like.
They call it the yin yang.
Yeah.
So we created a concept of what we thought of that reminded us of our street life. In other words, that's why we had the tagging on the wall. It's about doing what we feel in here, from how we were raised to how we became this. So we're doing a fine dining twist to the food, but where anybody could afford it. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be, I'm here to take your money, no. The idea was to create a fine dining flavor, fine dining palette, which would regular anybody would pay $30 or $40 a plate, whether if it's a steak or a lobster or whatever. But to get the actual flavor and twist it into a street style plate. So the idea was to make anything that anybody would eat, whether if you're at the most fine dining place, but where you can afford it for $14.
Yeah. This idea was born basically 4 years ago. My brother had a brilliant idea. He just wanted to bring, our kind of food to the scene, and basically we're chefs who do a lot for everywhere. Me, I'm a competing chef. We did a lot in our careers. We opened a lot of restaurants, fine dining.
You have more fun when you're at home. So why not create an environment that makes you realize that you're at home?
Yeah, so this here feels like home, like to us. So it brings memories. I don't know, there's a lot of spots that brings a lot of times when we were younger. Everything here was long days, spending night days, waking up, cutting, painting.
My brother spent about a week painting that whole portrait. At that time, I was making all the tables.
Chefs, we're supposed to have delicate fingers, hands. We had to get them rough to get this going, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, but we made all the tables. We made the tables, we painted the paintings, we did the artwork, we upholstered everything ourselves. I love rock and roll, and I love the 50s. I remember back in the day, I had an uncle named Billy that passed away. We used to go to the ranch. He used to have a mechanic shop, and there was always car parts parked everywhere. There was always 50s rock and roll music, and we were always barbecuing and grilling, and we were always there drinking. And I was like, why can't you do this at a restaurant? It makes me feel like I'm at home. So my idea was to create a fine dining restaurant, but that felt like a garage. That felt like I was at home.
Kind of like a red rod, remember?
Yeah.
Talked about it. So there's a lot of stuff that is unfinished because it's like a red rod, like my brother says.
Yeah.
A red rod, man.
Yeah. The concept was to create a rat rod out of a building. Rat rod concept was created in the 50s by poor people. They couldn't afford a hot rod. They couldn't afford that Mustang or whatever was out there. So they actually went to the junkyard and built their own cars. That's why if you ever see a rat rod, they're not painted, they're rusted, they're ugly, they're beat up. They had different car parts because it was their project and their ambition to build that.
So that's why we did here. We got everything new and used, and we made it come to life, and here it is. It's finished.
Yeah, we have unpainted. If you see the walls, a lot of spots are unpainted. Like we just smeared them with paint, but we left them that way because we wanted to give it a theme. Because if it's going to be a rat rod, it cannot be perfect.
Yeah, we're not perfect.
That was a good challenge, but it was well worth it because it's one of a kind. How many restaurants do y'all see here that have $50 burgers, for instance? But that the bread is made from scratch per order. That the bacon is literally smoked from scratch. We cure our bacon, our pork belly, for about 12 hours. And then after it's cured, we rinse it for 30 minutes. And then we coffee rub it. And then we smoke it for about another 14 hours. And then we chill it, then we slice it. So it's a process.
Yeah.
We make our burger buns. We make our sausage. We make our everything. We grind our own meats. We do everything from scratch. We buy bulk and we shrink it down to every portion that we want. Not any restaurant in the valley does that. So if you want a real good fresh burger that's made from scratch with homemade buns and homemade everything, give us a try.
Exactly. Come check us out.
And we also make our own pickles.
Yes. House pickles, house fries.